to start with the fun Alloyin versus Alloyin matchup. Alright, let's see here. In this matchup I definitely want to be going for the late game. With that being said, I probably want things... War Charger is really, really good in most circumstances, but I don't think he's as good in this one, like against another Alloyin deck. Because he just doesn't have enough power to kill any of the other armored creatures. He does have a lot of health though, which makes him survive against pretty much anything. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with him. He's just really, really good in general. You can't really complain about the War Charger. This is actually a decently easy decision to tech upgrade the War Charger, and then move him to kill the Sentinel after killing the Sentry. Alternatively, I could General, but that's not going to allow him to kill both of them, because it would only apply in one of the fights. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tech upgrade him. And we'll go to combat. So now I'm getting more than at least 3 cards on their side for my 2, probably. Unless he tech upgrades himself. In which case we'll trade. Of course, I'm still getting 3 cards at that point. The 2 creatures and the tech upgrade for the War Charger. I definitely want to go for a late game, so I think I want to go for the Technosmith here. And the choice is between the General and the Warden. And I think the Warden's better for a late game, particularly when I have tech upgrade already. I can start getting a lot of health on things with a lot of armor. And armor just... the more armor you get on something, just the more brutal it gets. Like, having a lot of armor on something is just insane. Okay, so the question here, do I do Sentry or War Charger? Or Munition Drone is really good in this matchup, because it helps break through their creatures with a lot of armor, like the SolForge sign. Because adding like 10 attack to something is basically just nullifying the SolForge armor. So the Munition Drone is really tempting. If I did do a Munitions Drone, it'd be between the War Charger and the Sentry to fight off the other War Charger of his. Of course, he does have move, so he could always just move into my War Charger. In which case, I want to have my War Charger to follow. So I'm going to play a War Charger here to be able to follow his War Charger next turn. And even the Munitions Drone will trade with the War Charger if he chooses to block the Munitions Drone. The Munitions Drone can buff itself. Okay, so he did what I thought he was going to do. So now I can send the War Charger over that way to kill his. Or I could tech upgrade my War Charger and use something like a Warden to fend off the War Charger. So, I really like tech upgrade in the Alloyin matchup, in particular, in the Alloyin and in the Utera matchup. Tech upgrade is just really strong, as far as the health and armor is just insane. And when you already have things like Munitions Drone leveled up, that can make it a little bit harder for to match the attack with the health that you're giving him. It really provides a really strong buff over time. Now I'm just going to go ahead and keep that War Charger going. I could have buffed the Munitions Drone to make him a 5/5, but going into player level 2, a 5/5 is not that significant. So that's why I chose to do the War Charger. Of course, it turned out that the 9 attack on the War Charger wasn't significant, but you don't always know that. So the Bright Steel is definitely going down. Question is where? And it's a silly question. The Alloyin General needs to go into lane 3. And the Bright Steel certainly needs to go in lane 5. That'll kill his Spark Bot and give my Warden an extra turn to be able to kill the General with its newly buffed powers. Sonic Pulse puts a damper on things. Let's see. I don't really want to lose a drone to the Spark Bot, so I can't believe I didn't get any Titans level. I didn't see a single Titan in levels 1 through 4, not one. Like I didn't. It's not that I didn't play any. I didn't see any. At any rate, I think I'm going to go ahead and block with the Forge Light Sentry, so he at least lives. Now the drone can buff the Sentinel or the Sentry. Or if he buffed himself, and then I put the drone into lane 4, then I could kill off his Sentry with my drone. However, that would put him in a position to play an Alloyin General too, and I don't really want to risk my drone dying that way. So I'm just going to let this drone die, take 4 damage next turn. I'm not really concerned about the 4 damage. And we'll see what I can do with the drone next turn. It's a really bad idea to let combat happen on your opponent's turn if you can ever avoid it. Like setting up for a good trade on their turn. See, exactly, I would have just lost my drone. There's just so many tricks that Alloyin can play between Bright Steel Sentinel, Alloyin General, Tech Upgrade, Sonic Pulse. Just a lot of things that you can't plan for, which just massively upsets combat most of the time. The question is, what do I do here? I can Warden lane 4, which would trade unless I buffed himself. Granted, it's really tempting to Warden the Sentry with the buff, or the Bright Steel, both of which would allow a trade. Well, doing the Warden buff on the Sentinel would allow the Sentinel to trade with the General. However, putting the Warden on the Sentry would allow the Sentry to win, assuming I buff the Sentry with something to one-shot the Sentinel. And to be honest, that's really tempting. I think I'm going to go that route. I can kill the General pretty easily with 5 health on the offensive next turn, so I'm not too concerned about that. I'm not really concerned about having in like 8-5 Warden on the field. So I'm gonna just really buff up this Forge Plate. Actually, you get +5 attack, do you not? You do, so I could go ahead and kill that General. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Kill the General, and then I don't have to worry about him next turn. Now we hope he doesn't have 9 attack or something, which he doesn't. Awesome. Granted, with player level 3, the Sentry is going to be pretty easy to kill at this point. And the drone is definitely buffing itself to kill that War Charger. Warden, I could level up another Warden. I have a few Wardens leveled already. I think I'm actually going to level the Oracle, in hopes of maybe getting Titans going if this game goes forever in a day. If this game just drags on, then I want to be able to get Titans eventually. I don't think he's even played any Technosmiths himself, so I'm pretty sure I'm pretty safe on him not playing them. So, we'll see how that goes. Here's another, I could get 9 free damage on him with War Charger, and then move to block the Sentry. But again, I really just don't want to have combat go back to his turn, because if he tech upgrades the sentry, I could not only lose my war charger, but not kill the sentry. So I'm definitely more inclined to go ahead and block it when I know I can win. And go with that. And, well, choice between the sentry and the drone. It's unlikely I'll ever play either. Well, I shouldn't say that. The game could go for a very long time, so it's a tough call. I already have 2 other sentries leveled, I think. I might only have 1. But the drone's really useful in this matchup, but he doesn't have his SolForge leveled, so I think I'm going to go with the sentry. The sentry is pretty good against everything except SolForge. And there's no reason to buff the war charger. I mean, it'll keep him alive, but for another turn. But it's likely he's going to die to anything else anyway in player level 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and buff the warden and see what goes there. Ooh, drone 3. Well, I'm certainly playing the drone. You know, it is quite tempting. Like, being a good player, I should block the general next turn. But I guess it really doesn't matter. Whatever he plays in lane 2 next turn will be on the defensive. So it really doesn't matter what if I don't block the general for a turn. I don't care about the 6 damage, so I'm gonna let the general through. I'm gonna go ahead and tech upgrade. I could tech upgrade the warden, but I think I want to tech upgrade the drone, so as long as the drone's alive, I have a constant source of buffing himself, so he can get exponentially large. Or not exponentially, but consistently larger. Plus, I'm pretty sure that puts me to lethal anyway, because he's going to have to block the warden and the war charger, and then he can buff and kill. Yeah. And just for the blocks. So game 1 went pretty well. Alloyin versus Alloyin is